So before I get started with this video, let's read this comment I got from a Cynthia G follower on one of my videos. And this is basically a weave chimp who's a product of a BW and a white man. So she's a product of the man in this video who's murdering this BW, just like the million other men who murdered these BWs. They basically get bottom of the barrel white men. You don't get white men of high status because white men of high status will not downgrade to date you like my other videos show, which are facts. You're a downgrade to a white man, but a black man dating a white woman is a step up. That's what a white man said. The white man that you worship so much, the white man that your mom put on the pedestal, the white man that reproduced you to make your self-loading ugly ass. That's his words, not mine. So you're a bottom of the barrel in every society. The fact that there are statistics that are going around, I'm gonna do a video on this. So if you want to come to my comment section again, then make sure you come when I do this video of 250,000 BWs being born out of wedlock, or BW children being born out of wedlock by white men, like your father and like your mother. So it's no surprise a Cynthia G follower who doesn't have any logic would be able to comprehend that. So you can only say black men are the bottom of the barrel. You the bottom of the barrel. Well, black men aren't the bottom of the barrel in incomes. They aren't in the bottom of the barrel at education. Actually, they're more educated than Pacific Islanders and Hispanic men, and they have more money and income and more businesses than those two group of men. However, you are the bottom of the barrel in pretty much everything except STIs, HIVs. You talk about prison rate. Black men prison rate has decreased by about 40% since what, early 200s. Meanwhile, you have the highest prison rate among women. You are natural failures, and you talk about community. Black men have their own businesses. They have their own banks. I've seen that 10 out of 12 of the black banks are owned by black men. But of course, I don't expect you to know that because you're a Cynthia G follower. You're a crusty. You don't consume your knowledge with stuff. You don't consume your brain with actual knowledge. The only thing you go is gossiping who black men are dating and who's dating who, because you're stuck with the bottom barrel men of every single demographic. And the only reason that white men are dating you weave chimps is because they're being kicked out certain careers, certain jobs, and they settle for the bottom barrel because now their social econ class is dropping to the bottom of the barrel. And that's why you're getting these low IQ biracial kids growing up in poverty by these BWs who are being born like this. I'm not talking about black men who are biracial with white women. You see 340,000 black men are married interracially to white women. And I believe a number Hispanic women, I have to look up the number of Hispanic Asians. That's marriage. And compare that to 240,000 of you having babies out of wedlock by white men. That's indicating that you're becoming single moms just like you are with everyone else. That's your only reputation in society. Desperate, low IQ apes who blame everyone else for their failures. And you're doing the same thing with bottom shelf brads. And you wonder why nobody wants you and see you as value. You're the lowest value. That's why they vandalize Breonna Taylor statue. That's the value you have in society. All right? So we're going to see that in this video. We're going to see the products of these bottom shelf brads and these BWs. And we're going to see why comments like that, we're going to see how that comes about, because this is what happens when you get a self-loading bottom of the barrel woman who have no value in society, aka BW, and then you get a low-status white man who's not accepting, can't get a woman in his community, can't compete with other races of women to get the woman that he want, or other races of men to get the woman that he want. But they see black men like me, we're able to do that. We don't want these bottom of the barrel ghetto gaggers. So of course it's gonna make them feel some type of way. But I'll try to make this real fast. Let me get into the video. Might respond through this throughout my facts and my videos where it proves my point. But let's get into the video actually of what their fathers and their parents are and what they behave like. Let's roll the clip. See, this is what other races of men do. You know, these weave chimps, these crusties, are used and slaughtered by these other races of men. Can you imagine what it would be, like I said before, if they had the same rhetoric to these other races of men, how many of them would be getting slaughtered? I mean, 41,000 of them are already missing. They're getting taken out by police amongst all races of women. So I don't understand why when these clowns come to my comment section talking about black men and police, like you're getting taken out from by police more than any other race of women, rightfully so. That's where you belong. Now you can finally rest in your femininity. Finally rest in your femininity next to that bottom shelf Brad in hell. All right. So you may ask, who picture is this? Well, this is a Cynthia G follower. Since you want to leave 9 comments on my channel, you want attention that much, you want to be noticed that much, you want to leave comments like knee out my neck. Well, we're going to talk about comments like ropes around your neck, like, you know, Micaiah Miller, Sandra Bland. And we're going to use these examples and examples like this in this video. In videos, while I'm adding commentaries to what just happened. Since he want attention so bad. And I might do another video on my other channel about this weave shit, but yeah, I just want to give them attention because they want so much attention. These in-house bullet bags want so much attention. They want so much attention, so I'm just giving them the attention, but not too much of it. Let's get into the story. Back to what I was saying. So, men like me don't respect them because this is what I see them as. I'm exposed to all races of women, all races of people. And when I see other races of women, I just don't see them doing this. Yeah, other races of women got flaws, but they're not like, what do you get from dating a BW? This is what you have. You got white men taking out the trash of society, left and right. These bottom shelf brads only go for these BWs because they're bottom of the barrel in their community. And I can elaborate on this because I'm from the state of Michigan. I can tell you about Clinton Township. Clinton Township has one of the worst school districts in that state. And when I was growing up, it was like a lower middle class area, some middle class white area. It had a real bad school district, which is weird because most of the white schools, especially up north suburbs where I'm from, but the south suburbs, they have more worse schools but more white trash. But this is where low income middle class people live. Back up north where more people with money live. So this is what I grew up seeing. You know, I never respected these low IQ crusties. And so these are the men they get. They don't get these high status white men and powerful resources saying it's for survival. It's not for survival because you're being murdered by the same bottom shelf Brad. You're not getting benefits from dating the white man because you're not dating the white men, top white men in the community. In fact, over 30% black men bachelor's degrees are married interracially. So if anything, if we're being honest, white women are benefiting dating your man while you're taking trash of their man and you're ending up dead and having these self-loading biracial kids who don't have any logic or IQ, like the one I used previously in an example and follow Cynthia G because they come from the same background when they're raised by single moms, bitter BWs who don't want to take accountability for anything but instead want to sit their ass online all day, put on 20 pounds, spreading HIVs, STDs, and blame black men for everything. The process just repeats, the process just repeats, the process just repeats. And I hope people can take this content and stop that process from repeating by getting rid of these BWs. Because you can't abort something that you get rid of. You can't abort something that's not going to lay up with you to begin with. And like other races of men would have that value and respect for themselves if these weave chimps had that same rhetoric to them. They wouldn't even date these BWs. They wouldn't even lay up with them. They just come in their face and pee on them like they do on ghetto gaggers. But that's just the proof. And that's just the proof right here in the video. So I don't understand why you got black men on YouTube trying to have conversations with these same weave chimps who are speaking about how they want to abort black boys and they're getting stuck with these bottom shelf brads who are murdering them left and right. And you're supposed to feel some sort of sympathy for them. You got them on TikTok crying about how they're becoming single moms to white men. You got them on CNN begging the government and people to go fund their account because now they're single moms by white men. You got them everywhere showing the world how inferior they are to white women and other races of women. So when you say, oh, black men put white women on pedestal, no, we don't even need to put other races of women on pedestal. They willingly do that for us. These lame ass apes, these lame ass weave chimps. All right. So you know they're the lowest on the totem pole. When they have to take incels, no white woman want, no white woman touch with a 10-foot pole. Other races will call creep. Get away from me, you creep. No, Taquisha down the street would say, girl, you gonna give me that light skin, baby girl? You got that power and resources. You come to the ghetto near you with one sock on and a hole in the sock. No shirt on in the beer belly. As long as you got pale skin, the weave chimps hate themselves so much they want to be closer to white women. They want to be what other races of women are. Or they want to be closer to a racial woman or Hispanic woman or whatever they can be, like their moms. But they'll never be that. So they gotta take what they can get. And if that requires a bottom shelf brad, then so be it. And this is the result they have. And I don't understand why people don't elaborate on these stories when you're doing these debates and you're doing these conversations. All you guys just a bunch of lames who just want attention from BWs. That's what you're a bunch of lames. You're getting attention from femcells that other men pee on. You guys got no logic, and it's like you guys are just happy to get attention. Oh, we can finally debate with these BWs who disrespected us all day. I mean, you guys are pathetic. All right. The amount of people on here on YouTube who cannot break this down and destroy these crusties is getting. But you got a lot of black. I see a lot of YouTube channel black men waking up. I'm glad I'm seeing this, because black men can really replace these creatures. You can have them, and they won't exist no more. For all black men, this is how you build a community. You don't build a community by having disagreements and different ways you want to do it, and accepting low tier quality people of your race. This is how you have a failing community, which is exactly what the BWs are. It's not even black men no more, because most of them are just single moms and raised in the ghetto. That's basically what BWs are. Going project to project, begging the white man for a job, and talking about, girl, we the least educated, when they're not the least educated. I mean, they're not the most educated, the least educated. But yeah, I don't want to ramble on about that too much. But yeah, other races of women will call him a creep. The woman that you shines put on the pedestal will call her a god. But again, at least now she's resting in her femininity, which is what she always wanted, right? So yeah, Clinton Township is one of those low income areas, and this is what they really choose. This is what they really get. They don't get these powerful white men. I mean, these are so many stories saying that. I mean, you can even ask Google who's the richest white men on the planet, or who the richest black men. You see, if white men wanted them so bad, they can easily have them. The easiest race that anyone can get. They worship white men. They're brought here to be bottom shelf brass white men. But why would they? Why would I? I don't have a problem getting beat up. I reject you apes all day. No one's an incel. You a femcel. I got proof of that. I can make a video of me turning you down, and I don't even find you attractive on dating apps. I approach other races of women, so I'm not going to approach you in real life. I mean, I could easily record a video of you thirsting over me trying to get my attention, but I mean, I'm going to waste my time with that. But yeah, I mean, I can easily show how desperate these BWs are. They want to be white women so bad. They say, boy, you got that good hair. They want to be closest to the non-BW that they can be. I mean, if you a black man with curly hair, they'll constantly compliment you on your hair because that's the hair they want. I don't want to hear anything about protection from these animals. When you got people making videos about aborting black boys, and we can incite violence on Sandra Blanding, Breonna Tailoring, doing what this man did, taking out the trash on BWs. Fair game. We can incite that violence too, because it's going to help us. We do not benefit from these BWs. These BWs had to create an entire culture to worship other races of men and talk about black men because of their inability to compete with other races of women. And that's not a fault that black men need to be responsible for. Black men who can get other races of women that they can't compete with, why they want to make it seem like black men can only get white women that no other races want, because that's the only white men they can get. They see my channel and they see all these videos and they get offended, they get hurt because they know it's the truth, and there's nothing they can do about it. They're so worried about black men dating white women. If they put 24 hours into that, actually doing something productive, better in their life, not spreading STDs and HIVs, they probably won't have a net worth of $5. I mean, let's be honest. But they have no talent, they have no skill. They only consume their brain with black men dating other races of women. They only consume their brain with who's doing what. They only consume their brain with black men don't build. They don't actually do research and see that 10 out of 12 of the banks are owned by black men. They don't see the fact that a billionaire just gave 400 black men free college and he's married to a white woman, because they don't see the fact that they get the bottom barrel men of every race because they're bottom barrel women, because they can't compete with other races of women. They don't see that. They rather talk about black men do this, black men, it's black men fault. And that's why nobody in society respects these animals. And again, I support black men getting their own militia, because not all black men like the shines, but black men who actually want to replace them, date interracially, do what they want to do. And people come to the table with benefits. People don't like these crusties. So it's going to be a lot of people who don't care about black men dating interracially and just want to get rid of them. That's how you're going to build a community. You're not going to build a community working with the weak link, inferior, weave shimp, Sandra Bland bitches like this. These animals need to be wiped off the grid, rightfully so. I mean, this would literally benefit black men. At least say you're going to date black women, date self-respecting black women, or say something like that. But I wouldn't even say that. I wouldn't date no BW at all. You cannot convince me or persuade me in any group of women respect any group of women who lead STDs, lead STIs. They can't collectively be getting it from black men because the rate that black men have and BWs have are very far apart. So they're getting it from a small section of gay black men, they're getting it from white men, and they're spreading it around throughout the community that they clog, whatever community they clog, because you can't say that black men are dating interracially at high rates, but the ratio of black men with STDs and HIVs and is pretty low, but then the ratio of white women with those STDs and HIVs are low. So which one is it? White women are getting all the black men who don't have STDs and HIVs, or black men have lower HIV rates, which is a fact, or both? Because it can't be possible that white women have such this low STI and HIV rate that's lower than white men, but somehow black men have STDs and HIVs. We already know a lot of black men, especially college athletes like myself in high school. A lot of us who grew up around white girls, we at least laid up with some. I date white girls, I date non-BWs. I don't date BWs at all, but even black men I know that are in a relationship with white girls or Hispanic women have laid up with BWs who, when they play sports. Laid up with white women when they play sports. So it can't be, they would have to have a high HIV and STD rate as well. Especially when their studies go around saying that 87% white women would definitely lay up and have sex with black men. They find black men attractive. So this is just a illogical talking point. It's something they want to believe because the truth hurts. All right, you have the lowest dating response rates. BWs have the lowest dating response rates. All right, so you put that in consideration. You take a look at these white men and what these white men are doing to them. Indicate that not only no one pursues them or respects them over other races of women, but also should highlight that black men are the only race of men who are still having panels trying to discuss stuff with these creatures. For what? What are you trying to discuss? What are you trying to get? What's the solution? You know, they're getting their statues vandalized by the same race of men they put on a pedestal and worship. And you're out here talking about white supremacy and let's invite a black woman to our panel. There is no white supremacy that's affecting black men. The only white supremacy that will be affecting black women will be anything with the BW. So you get rid of them, then you won't have to complain about that no more. Because that's really what it's coming down to. Reproducing with these creatures as your daughters, only for them to grow up and be a failure like this BW who's resting her femininity now. Like this Tory, like the weave chimp who contributes nothing to society, with playing black men for all their failures online. That's what you want to produce. That's the daughter you want to have. You don't want to have a daughter or a son who, well, you can already get a son who respects himself, but you don't want to have a daughter who respects herself. You don't want to have a daughter who respects herself enough to make videos and content counteracting these crusties and these weave chimps and what they say about black men, but also what they say about her. You see, the weave chimps from the bottom shelf brads and BWs are just like the self-loading BWs who reproduce them. They're a completely separate group, pretty much. But do you not want to have a self-respecting family and a legacy? Well, how are you going to get that when the culture of BWs and the black culture is basically a bunch of low IQ femcells who can't get no black men they want, who can't compete with white women, promote hate speech on black men all day, but then when I'll come out here and promote hate speech on them or promote real facts, they consider it hate speech. No, they want to cry, they want to complain. That's what they do. It's gonna get worse from here on out. So this is a lightweight right now. But you got stories like this that prove my point. You got comments like this that prove my point. Because the whole culture these animals promote is dating a bottom shelf Brad will save you from all your problems. And now they got what they wanted. I mean, they're doing society a favor. So I can't even complain about it. But then they have an issue when black men date white women. They have an issue with white women, but they don't have an issue with what the white woman produces. Especially the same black men that they know they'll never be able to get. I'm one of those black men. I'm one of those black men that they complain about. I'm one of those black men that don't care. You lame ass apes. And I'm one of those black men that's going to expose the truth and let the whole world know. And I'm going to let other races of women. I got some Asian women who follow me. I got a white woman who follow me. Most of my followers are black men. But I'm going to have other races of women come. I even had a white man who followed me, which I found weird because it was a white man who subscribed to one of these weave chimps. So I had white men who comment my video as well, because I made a video about how a bottom shelf Brad shouldn't be required to date a BW or be called a racist for not dating a BW. He subscribed to me and said that he respect that, he thinks it's funny, he doesn't want BWs either. So a lot of people don't like these BWs. A lot of people don't respect them, and they shouldn't. There's trash in society, and it needs to be known. So when you're out here disrespecting BWs, you're not disrespecting the black race. Quit saying that, because they're a disgrace to anyone that shares my skin color, because they're disgusting. The fact that I have to share the same skin color with these animals, with these apes, when we have nothing in common, makes me think to myself, what can I do to let the world know that if a civil war broke out, I'm not joining forces with them just because we share the same skin color. We have nothing in common. They're a bunch of single mom, fatherless weave chimps who can't compete with other races of women. And quite frankly, I have men in my family, so I have father figures in my life. So of course, I'm not gonna relate to a weave chimp who was a descendant of a crackhead and doesn't know her father, because I don't have that. I don't come from that lifestyle. I don't come from that background. I was pretty prepared for the economic market. I was pretty prepared for sports. I was pretty prepared for education. And there's a lot of black men like me who are doing that and are prepared. So of course, I'm not gonna relate to a bunch of animals like this. And I think a lot of black men are. So with that being said, I think that's all I gotta say. This is who they really choose. Now she can finally rest in her femininity. Thank you. I appreciate it. Bottom shelf Brad. You did the world a favor. I'm out.